Here's a video with me face. It's sideways. Ha ha ha. That's because I'm sideways. Ha ha ha. Oh, but yeah, we're gonna do a quick update this morning. That's not the one I really wanted to start with, but the Euro AI, which has done not great with this storm, but decent this year, is now performing a very believable track, in my opinion. Very fast. We got to mention that. As we look at mid to late day Thursday through mid to late day Friday, we go all the way from there to there. So this thing is going to be in and out quick. There's no talk of any kind of stall or anything like that, and we don't even know if this is going to be the particular track, but I tend to agree with that track more than what some of the other models are showing right now. On this track, it comes in to the, wouldn't really call that Big Bend area, kind of a little bit south of the Big Bend, and makes a race up towards Savannah, Georgia. And looking at that track, we see, and most of the tracks that I've actually looked at this morning, we see 2 to 4 inches of rain here across most of the Florida Peninsula, which basically wouldn't be too bad. It would cause the river to go up just a little bit, and being sideways is kind of annoying here. I should have sat up. The regular Euro, I don't think I've looked at this one this morning. Apalachicola area. Early Friday into Saturday morning. Still a very fast system, 989 millibars, Category 1 hurricane, right there near Apalachicola. And that is actually consistent with the Euro's ensembles, which is a thing we're not seeing with a lot of the other models. We'll move on to the American, the GFS here. Oh wow, this is even faster. And we're almost looking at a Thursday landfall there. Very, very midnight, early Friday morning. 961 coming into the western panhandle, which doesn't make sense based on its ensembles, because again, a lot of GFS ensembles remain over here and through this Big Bend area, and we'll see those in just a little bit. But last night the GFS did have it coming across north central Florida again, something like that, and that is much more believable. I don't know why it keeps going with this westerly track, but the Canadian is also on board with this westerly track, which also its ensembles are all coming into the Big Bend of Florida too. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Canadian here. Bringing up a very weak storm here, possibly not even a hurricane at 991. Very disorganized and weak storm coming up into the western panhandle, almost the exact same spot that GFS run was showing. Oops, might have showed my tit. I don't remember that I'm on the corner of the screen. See, I can't see me when I'm on this screen. I got to be over here to see me. There's me. So the Canadian model over there, it makes landfall and it goes northwest, as does the regular Euro. The GFS, the Euro AI, continue to pull this thing out to the northeast like any normal storm would do this time of year. I don't know, why does it keep drawing lines like that? It doesn't undraw, whatever the word is that I'm trying to find there. But yeah, the Euro and the Canadian are doing something like that. And then the GFS and the Euro AI are doing something more like that. Which, this option here is definitely what normally happens. This would be very weird. Did I just draw a tree? Kind of looks like one, huh? Gotta be funny. Alright, go back and look at the 12Z icon. Believe that this one is coming into the big, or the 0Z, not 12Z. I'm going to be going back to yesterday. I believe this one brings it up to a pretty solid hurricane. Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, that's the doom and gloom model this morning. 943 millibars into that Big Bend area. That would be a Category 3. And that is not out of the question. That is totally believable also. We're not trying to predict intensity quite yet. But we got to start thinking about it here pretty soon. This model a lot later than the others, and that's why it gives it an extra day, 2 days over water, because this is Sunday, September 29th, that we're looking at that. I don't like that all that much, because the other models are tending to agree that it's going to be a Friday to early Saturday event, and pretty much everything's been showing that lately, and we got this one showing that it's going to sit out here for 2 extra days and then be a monster. I don't tend to agree with that one too much right now. Let's take a look at the Canadian ensembles. Remember that the my count is getting way up there. It says it again right after that. Oh jeez, I gotta stop saying that. Dang it! Remember that the Canadian does something like that and its operational run. But let's take a look at these ensemble members. I said it again. Dang it. Oh, we're too far ahead already. It's already made landfall. Doesn't quite line up, does it? Most of the Canadian ensembles are going into the Big Bend of Florida, not the Western Panhandle, as the operational shows, which is weird. Quite weird. So, again, I know I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, I'm still sticking with Big Bend of Florida as a hurricane. I'm not going to say a major hurricane. Could be a very similar event to Debbie. Seen a lot of forecasts where people are calling for Western Panhandle, and I think that's just because they're looking at these operational runs and not at the individual ensembles. Even some of the ones that straggle behind are coming up toward the Big Bend, and there's a few that go over there toward the Western Panhandle, but the bulk of that is definitely Big Bend, 100%. The only thing we have not seen with the Canadian model is any indication of peninsula, which we do see with the GFS ensembles, which we're going to get to right here, right now, on CG Weather. Hey. See, all these little numbers that you see, like there, those are all individual ensemble runs, and just the coloring is where they tend to be grouped and showing a stronger storm. as it gets darker orange. Man, do I say a lot. Wow, this is insane. It's my most used word for sure. Well, when you're guessing at stuff, I guess you say a lot. So let's advance this forward just a little bit here. Maybe not. Let's see how a lot of those actually come over the peninsula there. And still, same thing with the Canadian. Remember, the GFS's operational is over here. And do we see any ensemble members over there? Not really. We got a couple over here, but they're very weak ones. The majority are definitely well to the east of that line, indicating Big Bend or even Peninsula. So, again, I'm going to say 3 times fast. And let's go back over here and continue to advance that a bit. Let's see how the GFS does not show that tug back to the west, which is weird. They all just kind of go in and slide right up the east coast for the most part. Kind of gets a little confusing there as we get later, because there's kind of members all over the place picking up on other stuff other than just our system here. But the ensembles, again, do not support the operational run for the Western Panhandle. And not really understanding that. Another thing I'm not really understanding is the National Hurricane Center. Only got this at 70% chance of development over the next 7 days, when I believe that they truly know that this is about a 100% chance of development over the next 7 days. I don't know how they come up with that number, honestly. And I've listened to a lot of other storm people that are saying the same thing, but we do have an actual X on the map now, which means we are tracking a developing area of low pressure. It's not just what do we want to call it, a ghost storm, something that's not there at all yet. It's in the makings now. Models have been tracking this thing for over a week, but it was not anything there yet. They just had a inclination that something was going to be there, and now the parts are in the making to create this thing. So let's go over to Weather Nerds, take a look at the GFS ensemble tracks here. Again, you see that focus over here, not over here. So not quite sure why the GFS keeps going with this side of Florida when the tracks continue to focus here. And the GFS has been very, 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 very consistent with a lot of tracks up in this area to the Big Bend. There's the again. And that's just the way the GFS has been on this storm. It's been its operational has been staying well to the west of its ensembles. We go to the Euro ensembles here, pretty much a much tighter group, and the Euro actually, the operational run comes right up the middle of its ensembles here. We got a little set that comes across Central Florida and does that more northeasterly deal versus that straight north and then turn to the west thing that's really weird. So Euro is a lot weaker. You don't see a lot of those darker colors. Oh, I can do that? I didn't know I could do that. Well, I guess not, because it went away. Don't see a lot of those darker reds or purples, which would indicate a stronger hurricane. A lot of yellows, which would probably be a minimal hurricane right up there in the Apalachicola area. I tend to believe that these are going to shift to the east a little bit. Just my gut feeling. But at this time, that's what the Euro ensembles look like. don't have much else to show still because we do not have an invest yet. I would expect to have an invest later today now that we have an X on the map. We got 96 out here and not expecting much out of that. Got a new wave just coming off of Africa that looks like it's probably going to develop and then recurve. Not gonna dwell on that one too much yet. There are a few indications it could try to make its way all the way across, but way too far out to even think about. We got this guy to worry about. I wouldn't worry about it, but we got this guy to watch is the better word. All right. I'm just going to say a few more times, and then we'll get out of here and do another video later tonight. Um.